because so many people were telling me, Vigorous Steve, Vigorous Steve. Originally, it was about the podcast, but even till now, I always get messages, well, Vigorous Steve said this, Vigorous Steve. I don't hear many other people's names. Actually, I hear your name.
We always end up with the same following. So I think you, me, and then Greg Duchette, before you went vanilla. And then their replacement dates, like those are like 4 main content providers. And then there's a couple other guys, they mostly do the podcast. And then what some of the smarter followers do, they'll take my stance and then they'll go to you to validate it.
Yeah.
Your stance, and then they go to me to validate. Leo said this. What do you think about that?
I was actually getting a lot of questions about pregnenolone and DHEA, and I was saying, where are these things coming from? And then I went on your channel and I was like, this is the master of pregnenolone. This is where it's
right. So I figured it went out a long time ago. Is that people started taking ACG, right? And I saw so much blood work of people that go on 1 year, 2 years of ACG because they want to maintain testicular size and semen production. And then their semen production is in the gutter and their ball's still small.
Mm.
They don't notice it because it's such a decline. And I asked them, if you keep it in your hand, are you holding something? Or I said, no, not like before. So why are you taking ECG then? Mm. And then you put them on a replacement, of pregnenolone and DHA. And even though it's produced in the adrenals and some other organs, not only in the testicles, by supplementing it, your hormone ratio, your hormone balance feels as close to natural as possible. And then you get a little bit more extra conversion. So those guys, you allow their estrogen to climb a little bit. And then they don't need to take ACG. And all the smart bodybuilders that I know, they say, don't take ACG on cycle because it prevents the success of your PCT. And at one point, like this pandemic has put a lot of people on PCT. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you had a lot of consultations like, what do I do? Gyms are closed and I can't buy food and do I need PCT? So, yeah. But the guys that took ACG on cycle, their PCT is not successful now or was not successful. And I get a lot of those guys, man. I get messages every day. I get my libido and then, my sex drive. And it's because you took ACG on cycle.
So do you notice that the people who take DHEA and pregnenolone, they actually regain testicular size?
No. I mean, the testicular size is still going to shrink because now you're even taking even more hormones. Right, let's say your hormone replacement, 150 milligrams of test, and then you add 25 milligrams of DHEA and 10 milligrams of pregnenolone per week. So that's what, another 200 milligrams per week. That's 300 milligrams, 350 milligrams. It's going to suppress.
So the other thing is that this is such an interesting subject because I've been so curious about this testicular atrophy issue. Because if you've been on gear for people, I don't know if you do this, but people who have been on gear for a couple of years or 3 years, especially if you're on like Trembolone or Nandrolone, you start to notice some testicular atrophy. But the thing is, you think that when you go off cycle, it'll come back. And what many people don't say this on YouTube, they don't say, no, it may never come back. And if it does come back, it's not that it's never going to come back from like the pee, if it's like pee. No, it'll come back, but it'll never be what it was before if you stay on long enough. And this is
also your age.
Also age, I'm sure. But there's some interesting study I read where they found that it was autopsies of bodybuilders, and they found they found fibrotic like scar tissue in the testicles. So
that doesn't surprise me.
This is what's making me think that there's an actual damage to the testicle that's sort of permanent in terms of it can still produce sperm if you know, but it's not going to be as large as before because it's just like getting scar tissue in your liver or somewhere else where it's
or in the prostate, and it has very similar the structure, and they both respond very similarly to hormones. So that's why the prostate grows, and then of course the testicles shrink.